Good morning, students. This is the class for April the 27th, 2020 for Lingue e Letterature Comparate 2. Okay, so let's go back to what we were saying last week. Okay, last week we started the new book, the book about semantics, and we noticed that it's quite different from the one that we've used so far. It uses a more bottom-up approach, meaning that there's lots of practices to do, and the book or the slides slowly guide you from practice to theory. Okay, and so basically in this first unit, Unit 1 and Unit 2, we're looking at the difference between utterance, sentence, and proposition. Said that utterances are a stretch of words that are preceded and followed by silence. And we also said that they are usually indicated in inverted commas. Let me get there so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so a word like hello, preceded and followed by silence, is usually indicated in inverted commas, is an utterance. Whereas a sentence is a stretch of words put together according to grammatical rules, and in linguistics it's usually indicated in italics. It is not, it necessarily has to have a verb in it, otherwise it cannot be considered a sentence. And it is not a physical, nor in a physical event, nor object. Okay, and we did lots of practices to get to that explanation. There's something that I had to correct. Remember that I said that the rule is that even if there's only one single word that changes, you're dealing with two different sentences. Like Helen rolled up the carpet, Helen rolled the carpet up are two different sentences. And I made a mistake here because I didn't even notice the difference. Sincerity may frighten the boy, and sincerity might frighten the boy. In this case, the two different words are may and might, yes. So these are not the same sentence because you're changing a word. This leads us to the first topic that we're going to talk about today, and that is the concept of proposition. Okay, I'll go back to this example over here in a second. So proposition, P-R-O, is the idea that is behind a sentence, the concept that is behind a sentence. Okay, your book defines it as a part of the meaning of an utterance of a declarative sentence, which describes some state of affairs. Let me go back here so that you understand it easily. We said that sincerity might frighten the boy and sincerity may frighten the boy are two different sentences. But the idea that is behind these two sentences is exactly the same. Okay, we can conceive it in a theoretical, ideal, abstract world. Okay, we understand that the idea that is behind these two sentences, sincerity might frighten the boy and sincerity may frighten the boy, is the same. And it's the same idea is behind the two sentences, Helen rolled up the carpet and Helen rolled the carpet up. Exactly the same idea that is behind these two sentences. Now, your book makes it a little more complicated, okay? It gives you a rule. And it reads like this. If there is any conceivable set of circumstances in which one sentence is true while the other is false, we can be sure that they express different propositions. What does this mean? Let's go back to the example. Okay. Sincerity may frighten the boy. Sincerity might frighten the boy. Can we say that one is true and the other one is false? No, because they mean exactly the same thing. They have the same proposition. Helen rolled up the carpet. Helen rolled the carpet up. Do they express the same idea? Can we say that one is true and the other one is false? No. So these two sentences have the same proposition. They convey the same proposition. But if I said something like, sincerity may frighten the boy, and sincerity does not frighten the boy, can we say that one of these sentences is false and the other one is true? Yes, we can, because they're opposites. So, in that case, sincerity may frighten the boy and sincerity does not frighten the boy convey two different propositions. So now, with this first practice, consider the following pairs of sentences. In each case, say whether there are any circumstances of which one member of the pair could be true and the other false. So number 1, Harry took out the garbage. Harry took the garbage out. Write down your sentence, write down your answers, or just keep them in mind, and then we'll look at the answers in a while. John gave Mary a book. Mary was given a book by John. Isobel loves Tony. Tony loves Isobel. George danced with Ethel. George didn't dance with Ethel. Dr. Findlay killed Janet. Dr. Findlay caused Janet to die. Okay, sorry for that. So, question 1. Harry took out the garbage. Harry took the garbage out. Okay, so in this case, they're the same proposition. John gave Mary a book. Mary was given a book by John. Same proposition. Problems begin with number 3. Isobel loves Tony, but this does not necessarily entail that Tony loves Isobel. So the proposition that is behind these two is different. One can be true, the other one can be false. George danced with Ethel, and George didn't dance with Ethel. One can be true, the other one can be false. So they're two different propositions. And finally, Dr. Findlay killed Janet. Dr. Findlay caused Janet to die. Well, no, they are not. They are not the same proposition, because the first one, Dr. Findlay killed Janet, involves intentionality. Okay, he pulled the trigger or whatever he used to kill her. In the second case, Janet's death might not be part of the intention of Dr. Findlay. So it's just a cause, but not the active person who is involved in killing Janet. Okay, so this means that in number 5, there are two different propositions. Okay, let's see if we are okay with the feedback. Okay. Well, the comment for your book's comment is true propositions correspond to facts. False propositions do not correspond to facts. Well, yes. Quite self-explanatory, but still, let's follow what they say. Next practice. Okay, let's see where we're going with this. So we're talking about true propositions that correspond to facts and false propositions that do not correspond to facts. Let's look at the practice together. Is it a fact that there are lions in Africa? Don't need too much time to answer that one. Is the proposition that there are lions in Africa a true proposition? Is it a fact that the state of Arkansas is uninhabited by human beings? And is the proposition that the state of Arkansas is uninhabited by human beings true? Okay, we can easily answer those 4 without the feedback. Yes, there are Africans and there are lions in Africa. The second one is a true proposition. It is not a fact that there's nobody in Arkansas, and for the same reason, is the proposition of this that the state of Arkansas is inhabited by human beings true? No, it's false. So let's see where it's going with that exercise. When a speaker utters a simple declaration, he commits himself to the truth. Yes, it's a declaration, so it is usually the truth. But by uttering an interrogative sentence or an imperative, the speaker can mention a proposition, because it's theoretical, without asserting its truth. What does this mean? If I say something like, John can go, period, it's a declaration. In this case, as a speaker, I am committing to the truth. It is true that John can go. But if I say, can John go, I am mentioning a proposition, but I'm not necessarily asserting its truth. However, John can go and can John go express the same propositional content. What happened here? Let's see if these are of any use. So in the following utterances, try to figure out if the proposition is, if there is any proposition asserted by the speaker. Have you seen my toothbrush? Get out of here this minute. Or I'm afraid that I'll have to ask you to leave. Would you say that the members of the following sentence pairs have the same propositional content? Let's see what you answered. So, in the case of exercise number 1, the only sentence that is expressing a propositional content is the third one. I'm afraid that I'll have to ask you to leave. Because it's asserting something. And then, as for the second one, yes, no, and yes. Go away, will you? You will go away. Or, I'm an idiot, am I an idiot? Letter B is not expressing the same proposition. Sorry, there's a mistake in the common. No, that's fine. So, to conclude on this section, just like I said before, propositions are not like sentences. They do not belong to any particular language. So, I can say something pretty easy like, il libro è sul tavolo, the book is on the table. They are two different sentences because they belong to two different languages. But the propositions in general do not belong to sentences, do not belong to any specific language. This means that if two sentences are the perfect translations of each other in two different languages, they correspond to the same proposition. Il libro è sul tavolo, the book is on the table, is an exact, a perfect 100% translation. And so The two sentences, il libro è sul tavolo and the book is on the table, are express the same proposition. Okay, so for Unit 2, we said that the concept, main idea that you need to know is the difference between utterance, sentence, and proposition. Utterance is a stretch of words that is followed and preceded by a silence. Sentence is a stretch of words put together thanks to grammatical rules, and it must have a verb in it. Propositions, unlike sentences, do not belong to any language, and they express the idea, the abstract idea that is behind a sentence. The trick to understand whether whether two sentences express the same proposition or not is to see that they can both be right or both true or both false. If one is true and the other one is false, they do not belong to the same proposition. They do not express the same proposition. Okay, I know that the exercises might be a little confusing. To be honest, some of them are confusing also for me, but they slowly guide you through what they want you to learn. And that's the end of Unit 2. So before we go any further, I want you to pause the video here and watch this video that gives you further explanations and further examples about the difference between utterances, sentences, and propositions. It's quite a long video, so maybe you can, I don't know if you want to continue with this video and then watch this one at the end. Utterance, sentence, and propositions. Okay, that's up to you. I would recommend watching this one first because then we're going to get into something different. Now, next unit, Unit 3, we're going to talk about the difference between reference and sense. So, time for an entry test. Answer the following questions. State which of the following represents an utterance and which a sentence. Number 2, can a sentence be true or false? Number 3, is an utterance tied to a particular time and place? Number 4, is a sentence tied to a particular time and place? Can a proposition be said to be in any particular language? Can an utterance be true or false? Let's look at the answers. So the first one that you see in italics is the sentence. John sang wonderfully last night. The second case is an utterance because it's in inverted commas. Can a sentence be true or false? Yes, it can. Is an utterance tied to a particular time and place? Yes, to the moment in which it's uttered. Is a sentence tied to a particular time and place? No. Can a proposition be said to be in any particular language? No. False. Well, no. Can an utterance be true or false? Yes. If you got them all correct, great, fantastic, go ahead. If not, go back to the beginning of this video or to last week's class. So this chapter starts with a definition. We're going to talk about referents. So referents are defined as things in the world, people included, that are being talked about. For example, the sentence, "My son is in the beech tree." My son refers to a person, and so it's a referent. And the beech tree is a referent because it identifies a thing. So far, so good. So think about everyday conversations. There are situations in which something never refers to different things. They have constant reference. For instance, if I'm mentioning the sun, that has only one referent, okay? It never changes. Or the moon, okay? It's just one thing. It has a constant reference. Imagine this situation. Two different couples in two different everyday situations that are having separate conversations. And they're talking about the moon. Would they be talking about the same object? In other words, does the moon normally have constant reference? Number two, does the People's Republic of China normally have constant reference? Does Angola normally have constant reference? Does Halley's Comet normally have constant reference? In all these cases, the moon, the Republic of China, Angola, and Halley's Comet are all referring to one thing. Okay, they have a constant referent. No matter who's talking, couple, the everyday situation, they have only one referent. But it can also happen, it can also occur, that two different expressions have the same referent. I can say the morning star, or I can say the evening star, but they both refer to the planet Venus. Okay, we'll go back to this definition of sense later because otherwise you wouldn't understand it. And I want to go down to the practice. Okay. So for now, let's say that sense means meaning, okay? And so tell me if the pair of words that you see here express a same or a different meaning, the same or different sense. So I almost or nearly fell over. It is likely or probable that Raymond will be here tomorrow. Your gatepost doesn't seem to be quite vertical or upright. He painted the fireplace aquamarine or vermilion. And I'll see you on Wednesday or Thursday. We can say that sentences 1, 2, and 3 have the same sense, would make the same sense or the same meaning, whereas number 4 and 5 would not. So these words, Wednesday and Thursday, would have a different sense, but likely and probably don't. And just like we do this with words, we can talk about the sentence, not only of words, but also of longer expressions, like phrases and sentences. So, intuitively, would you say that the following sentences mean the same or nearly the same thing? Rupert took off his jacket. Rupert took his jacket off. Or Harriet wrote the answer down. Harriet wrote down the answer. Bachelors prefer redheads, and girls with red hair are preferred by unmarried men. In all these cases, we could say that, yes, they have the same sense, the same meaning. However, in some cases, a word can have more than one sense. So, can we say that the word bank has the same meaning in these sentence pairs? I have an account at the Bank of Scotland, and we steered the raft to the other bank of the river. Of course not. One is referring to the bank as an institution, the other as part of the river. So one word can have two different senses, two different meanings. And this is not only a matter of words, it can also involve sentences. One sentence can have different senses, different meanings, just like we can see in this next practice. So write down two sentences, or think of two sentences that can make me understand the two different meanings or the two different senses of the sentence, the chicken is ready to eat. Number 2, write down two sentences bringing out clearly the two different senses of he greeted the girl with a smile. Now do the same thing for the sentence, he turned over the field. So in the first case, the chicken is ready to eat. This can mean both that the chicken is ready, they cooked the chicken and so it's ready to be eaten, or that the animal is ready to eat something. So the chicken is ready to eat has two senses, has two meanings. The chicken is ready to be eaten, or the chicken is ready to eat something. Then the man greeted a girl with a smile. This has two senses. One is that the man is smiling and he greets the girl. And the second one is that the girl is smiling, and so he greeted the girl that was smiling, who was smiling. And then for the third one, he turned over the land, over the field. Can mean both he either changed direction over the field, or that he's a farmer, and so he's physically turning over the field. So to conclude and comment on the difference between referent and sense, you can say that the referent of an expression is a thing or a person that is real, whereas the sense of an expression or of a word is not something concrete. It's not something that we can see. It's something that we can think but not see. And I think we can stop this one and then we'll go back to it on Wednesday. Okay. So for today, we looked at the concept of proposition, and we said that it is the idea that is behind an utterance or a sentence. I gave you this other video that gives you more examples about utterance, sentence, and proposition, and we got into Unit 3. We started Unit 3 with an entry test, so make sure that you have everything down. And we talked about the concept of reference. There are things in the world that are being talked about. Okay? And then we said that the sense of an expression is the idea that is behind a referent. And we said that not only words have sense, but also longer expressions such as phrases or sentences. And plus, there are some words that have more than one sense, and you can understand them by looking at the context. So it's not only words that can have two senses, but also sentences. And we did this exercise here that clearly makes you understand the difference between the two. So now let's go to today's song. Black Eyed Peas, Where's the Love? What's wrong with the world, mama? People living like they ain't got no mamas. I think the whole world addicted to the drama. Only attracted to things that'll bring the trauma. Overseas, yeah, we're trying to stop terrorism. But we still got terrorists living here living. In the USA, the big CIA, the Blood and the Crips and the KKK. But if you only have love for your own race, then you only leave space to discriminate. And to discriminate only generates hate. And when you hate, then you're bound to get, there's a typo there, you're bound to get irate. Yeah, madness is what you demonstrate. And that's exactly how anger works and operates. Man, you gotta have love, this'll set it straight. Take control of your mind and meditate. Let your soul gravitate to the love, y'all. People killing, people dying, children hurt and you hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach, and would you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us, send some guidance from above. 'Cause people got me questioning, where is the love? It just ain't the same, all ways have changed. New days are strange, is the world insane? If love and peace is so strong, why are the pieces of love that don't belong? Nations dropping bombs, chemical gases filling lungs of the little ones, with ongoing suffering as the youth die young. So ask yourself, is the loving really gone? So I could ask myself, what is really going wrong? In this world we are living in, people keep on giving in, making wrong decisions, only visions of the dividends. Not respecting each other, denying thy brother. A war is going on, but the reason's undercover. The truth is kept secret, it's swept under the rug. If you never know truth, then you never know love. Where's the love, y'all? Come on. Where's the love, y'all? People killing, people dying. And this repeats. I feel the weight of the world on my shoulder. As I'm getting older, y'all people gets colder. Most of us only care about money making. Selfishness got us following the wrong direction. Wrong information always shown by the media. Negative images is the main criteria, infecting the young minds faster than bacteria. Kids want to act like what they see in the cinema. Whatever happened to the values of humanity? Whatever happened to the fairness and equality? Instead of spreading love, we're spreading animosity. Lack of understanding leading us away from unity. That's the reason why sometimes I'm feeling under. That's the reason why sometimes I'm feeling down. It's no wonder why sometimes I'm feeling under. Gotta keep my faith alive till love is found. People killing, people dying, children hurt and you hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach, and would you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us, send some guidance from above. 'Cause people got me questioning, where is the love? Second that I find the link. And I'll put it right here. Okay, so thank you very much for listening, and see you on Wednesday. Take care, stay healthy. Bye.